Hi there, welcome back to our little handmade home, and may I say Merry Christmas and Happy Holidays to you. Today is day one of our 12 days of Christmas in July, and I'm very excited to be bringing you this really cute, elegant, rustic Christmas wreath. Today is the first day of the series, so you'll want to be sure that you subscribe to my channel and so that you don't miss a single project through this journey. So let's get started with today's wreath. Let's get started by talking about the supplies that we're going to use for this wreath. The first thing that we have here, it's a little hard to see against this background, but it is a square wire wreath frame from the dollar store. It is 14 inches wide. I have jute rope, which is roughly 1/4 of an inch wide. You could use rope that is 1/4 of an inch to about 1/2 an inch for this project, and it would work just fine. I have my hot glue gun heating up over here. I have some floral wire and some snips, and this will be handy in securing our rope to the corners. So let's start putting this all together. I'm going to use a little piece of floral wire to secure my rope to the frame. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to start right here at this little junction. You can start at a corner, but because I have this piece right here, that's where I'm going to start. I'm going to wrap a small piece of floral wire. Starting from the back, I'm going to wrap it around like this so that the front is going to be flat. Flip it over and twist it up so that it's on there nice and secure. Give it a couple of twists and then cut the tails off with my snips. And then if, like this one, you've got a tail that is longer than the wreath form, as you can see there, just trim it off. And from that point, we're just going to wrap. Make sure that as you're wrapping, you're keeping those pieces nice and tight together. When you get to the end of a section, what you can do is just tuck it inside there and apply a little bit of hot glue or a piece of wire. And that'll hold the end in place. And I'll let that set before starting the next section. Now for this section, what I've decided to do is put a small piece of wire around this back piece that catches the start of the new piece and the end of the last piece. Twist that up so it stays tight now, and then go ahead and keep wrapping. And when you get to the corners, you'll be tempted to want to try and fill it in. But what we're going to do is we're actually going to put a small piece of wire right here. We're going to come back and fill the corners in afterwards. When you get to the end of wrapping your 4 sides, to secure the end, what I've done is I've cut a little extra length here. Take a piece of floral wire, weave it through there, and twist these two up together to hold it secure. And then you can either cut the tail of the rope off or tuck it down inside, which I'm going to do. And now we're going to do the corners. So I'm going to put that down there, and I'm going to put a small piece of wire right here to hold this in place. Put a small drop of glue right on the corner and let that set there for a moment. Bring it right around to the corner. And then I'm going to alternate which way I wrap. Now in this case, as you're working on your corners, you're going to want to use some glue because your rope will want to slide off the corner. Okay, so the corners are a little bit of a slower process. Wrap it around that way and then bring it to this side. So as you can see, I'm just crisscrossing as I wrap. And you can see why, if I do that, that's why you want to use your glue, okay? Because it does want to pull away to the narrowest spot. So I've gone around here 5 times. So this was my first one. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. And as you can see, I've got just a small gap right here. So I'm going to switch to how I'm feeding this through, because as you can see, this is starting to get really thick in here. Just as we did with our other rope wreath, I'm going to put a little piece of tape on here to make it easier to feed through. Okay, and I'm going to feed through here. Now for these shorter sections, you don't necessarily have to glue it in place because it is going a shorter distance, and we're gonna really tuck a lot of rope in there. And we're just gonna feed it through like that so that it gives it sort of a finished look. Okay, and then on the back, you can wrap it around one more time. Make sure that it's gonna nestle down in there. And then feed the end in on the side. And put a little dab of glue on it to keep it in place. So you can see the nice little detail that added here. And then we're gonna repeat that for all 4 corners. All right, once you have finished wrapping and you finished your corners and your glue is all set, it's time to add your embellishments. Now, I realize it's July, and if you don't have a stash of Christmas stuff like I do, you may want to get this far and then put it on pause until the Christmas stuff starts showing up. However, you can usually find Christmas adornments on Amazon. Michael's will often carry them off season. There's usually a little bit of Christmas decor that you can find. So you have a couple of options for this wreath. You could actually hang it in a diamond shape, or you could do it in a square. It really depends on what you're going to add to it. I have a few options from my stash, sticking with this rustic look. I have this little tiny tree topper ornament. I have some cute jingle balls that have the greenery on them. So this is a piece that, while it's designed to hang in a swag, I don't tend to use them that way. I buy these just to cut them apart. So after playing with some different ideas, I've decided that I'm going to do this one in a diamond shape. So I'm going to hang these jingle balls from the top here, and I'm going to build up. So using the rope as a good securing point, I like to lay everything out first and see where I'm at, what I've got, and what I need to add in. Now, I want to keep that true diamond shape, but I do want to decorate all the way up to the edges. All right, so as you can see, I have filled in my wreath. I'm quite happy with this layout. So it is time now to attach our bells in the center. Now, I like the detail that I've left here, and I also want to create a hook on the back. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna put this through here. Now, I should have actually done this first because I'm now gonna squish the front of my wreath, but I want these to hang just about there. So I'm going to, again, use my floral wire. Use a little more this time. The first thing I'm going to do is wrap it a couple of times around this end here. Okay, so those are good and tight. I know those aren't going anywhere because they're also holding my bells in place. And then I'm going to feed this through this middle section here because I know that that is good and solid. And I'm going to wrap it around here and I'm going to feed it through one more time. Be careful not to poke yourself in the finger like I just did. And you may need to use small pliers to really get this good and tight, because you want to make sure it's not going to slip, because of course this is holding your wreath up and it's also holding your bells on. But that is good and tight. So our Christmas wreath is finished. Let's go ahead and hang it up outside and see how it looks. Thanks for tuning in to day one of the 12 days of Christmas in July here at our little handmade home. I hope you love your wreath as much as I love mine. And as always, any links that I have for you are going to be down below. Be sure you're subscribed to the channel. You're not going to want to miss tomorrow's project, where we're going to take some cute little Scrabble tiles and turn them into something completely new. See you then.